This is a 2016 Chevy Cruze LT. The front passenger power window won't go up or down. If you hear this, the power window regulator, it will need to be replaced. In this situation, the power window motor is still good, so we're only going to replace the power window regulator. Now we're going to remove the door panel, starting with the outside mirror bezel cover. Next, behind the inside door handle, there's a small access cover for the door panel upper bolt. And inside the grab handle, there's also a little pad hiding the bolt. Just reach in there and lift it up. Then use a T20 Torx to remove this bolt and this bolt in here. Then using the door panel pry tool around the edge, snap off. Once you pry it away, just lift from the bottom and then lift up to disengage. Then reach behind the door, disconnect the electrical connector and the cable hookup. I will show you in just a second. Then behind the panel, remove the electrical connectors and the cable. Also, you're going to have to remove this bracket so you don't have to cut the moisture barrier. That's the bracket for the handle support of the door panel. And next, peel away the moisture barrier slowly so you don't cause damage to the barrier itself, so you can reinstall it. And next, you want to disconnect the window from the channel, but in this case, if you can push the window up to get access through any other spots opening on the door to remove the channel bracket to the glass, that'd be okay. If not, just remove the entire regulator. Just remove the regulator off the door and see if you can get access to the glass and separate the glass from the regulator before you start removing the rest. You separate the regulators, 4 10mm bolts, including this bolt for the motor. Now on the top, you want to leave the bolts on. Just loosen them, maybe like a 1/4 inch away. Remove the bottom ones completely, because what you're going to do is you're going to lift the regulator both sides just enough to clear and then back it up from the top. And when you reinstall the same thing, you just reinstall it and hook it on, and then just put the bolts in the bottom and tight everything with the new regulator. And here's the new regulator and the old damaged regulator. What I noticed on most of them is usually it's this bracket where it pulls the glass up and down. It goes on the bottom part of the glass. This part just breaks apart. It's one of the weak points. And you got like plastic wheels and just pulls this on both sides, what guides the window up and down. Now the next thing I'm going to do is transfer the motor to the new window regulator, because this motor is okay. Let's just remove this 3 bolts and reuse them to reinstall it here. Once you separate the window motor from the regulator, inspect around the gear and the cover just to make sure there's no damage from when the wires broke and got wind up. Sometimes it could cause damage and you might have to replace the motor at that point to keep moisture away from the gear and the internal moving parts. Once you install the window motor on the new regulator, inspect, make sure the window holder has the rubber. Make sure it's loose enough so you can fit the window in it once you install it. And then you're gonna tighten this tube just enough, but not too tight, to grab the window. But the next thing we're gonna do is install the unit inside the door. Just remember what I told you about the bolts right on top. Those ones you leave just a little, leave them on. That's where you're gonna rehook it, put the bottom bolts, and then you tighten all 5 bolts down before you put the glass back on. Fit it in. Careful that you don't scratch the paint. Take your time. No rush here. You got it in. Just hook it. And install the bolts. Tighten everything down to torque spec. And once you complete that, remember to plug in the power window motor and then install the glass. And when you install the glass, you do it from the outside. You slide it in the channel from the outside of the door. Just bring it in sideways and then slide it in down. Once the glass is in the guide, just bring up the window all the way to the top. I'm gonna just temporarily plug in the door panel just to bring the window up, and then unplug it back up and set the panel aside. And now that I got the window up, I got access to the window holder nuts, and just tie them down just enough to keep tension, but not too tight. Once the window holder nuts are tight, you want to plug in the power window switch and test the window to make sure it opens and closes with no issues. If everything is fine, next thing, just put the moisture barrier with the bracket. And then reinstall the door panel. And make sure you hook up the cable and the wires. And after you install the door panel, make sure you clean the window. And the door panel you want to install, just make sure all the clips line up. you snap it in place around the door. Once the window is on, and test, make sure it works, and clean the door panel.